What is going on, everybody? We are finally back after over a month of time off, if that's really what you want to call it. Diamond Talk is back. My name is Jeremy Horwath, and as always, I'm with my co-host George Ryder over next to me. George, how are you doing tonight on this late night action on DSM Media?
Late night action. I'm feeling good. I'm in Dylan's basement right now. If you can't tell, if you watch, you know the background. So it's a different show. It's late night, but Bryce Harper is the MVP. Dylan's giggling over there. Bryce Harper is the MVP, and like everything since that has been announced has been amazing. The Bryce Harper haters are quiet. A lot of excuses being thrown around. Tatis had a better expected stats than him. If he didn't miss games. Juan Soto was amazing. It doesn't matter. There's nobody more deserving for NL MVP this year than Bryce Harper was.
No, and ever since that news has dropped, it has just been like nothing could have been killing my mood. Like if I'm like I've been at work, and when I'm at work, I get a little bit stressed out. You know what I mean? A little bit stressed out, and I just sit down. I'm like, Bryce Harper won MVP right as a Philly. I'm good. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay, the best news drop possible. But yeah, we will get more into the Bryce Harper MVP. We'll also be going over Zack Wheeler and the Cy Young voting, whether we think he got snubbed or not. Definitely controversial over there. Just a very tight loss from Zack Wheeler over there. And then pretty much going to jump into the offseason. What has already happened? A lot of stuff has already happened that the Phillies have done. A lot of minor league trades and stuff like that. And also stuff that we would like to see the Phillies do in the offseason. And also get a little bit of a reaction. We haven't had any shows during the playoffs yet. So kind of get our reaction to the whole World Series win and everything happened on the playoffs. But we will go straight into Bryce Harper. Jason right there couldn't have said it any better. MV3. It is time. Bryce Harper won the MVP, and in my eyes, he totally deserved it. He got 17 out of the first. He got 17 out of the 30 first place votes, and he just completely tore it up. It was deserving. One of the best Philly seasons we've seen. But yeah, George, go more in depth. I know you are our numbers guy right now, so go into the numbers.
I mean, he ran away with it. You know, he like everything about it. I know Tatis, his stats were on pace to be incredible, but he missed. He only played like 110 games. And when you play 110 games, that does matter in the MVP vote. Like you're missing about 50 games. That's just way too much. Bryce Harper, second half OPS, 1173. The Phillies altogether as a team, besides Harper, 688.
Yeah.
Like the whole entire time, he was willing the Phillies into a playoff position. Like 1 game, 2 games back, 4 games back. All because of that, it's Bryce Harper. If we don't have Harper on this team misses the playoffs by double digits.
Exactly.
It's most valuable player. And you look around at all the playoff teams, and there's not a guy that you can look at that you can say this guy deserves MVP. No. All 3 candidates were guys that weren't on playoff teams. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is those are the 3 most valuable players for them. So Bryce Harper winning is just his stats were incredible. He batted 309. This is a guy that everyone looks at and they overrated, overpaid, bats 240, bats 250. You can't say anymore. You have nothing to say.
I can't anymore. And you kind of stole the argument exactly what I was about to say. None of these guys made the playoffs. Their team did not make playoffs. So throw that argument out the way. If you look at all these other teams, if Fernando Tatis Jr. did not play for if he didn't play for longer than, like, say he wasn't on that team, how much worse are the Padres? The thing is, we still see them in the race, though. I still think they'd be a good team. You still have Manny Machado. You have good, but they'd still be fine. Okay. And now if you go over, why can't I think of it? Oh, Juan Soto. Now that team was terrible in general. Yes. Like if Juan Soto didn't play, they'd be even worse, but you couldn't really get much worse. Juan Soto couldn't lift this team to have a 500 record. Okay. Bryce Harper came in. This terrible team. If Bryce Harper was out as long as Ronald Acuna, think of that. When you compare these teams, Ronald Acuna got injured, the Braves figured it out, and the Braves went on to win the World Series. If that happened to Bryce Harper stopped playing as long as Ronald Acuna did, this team's not hitting 500. This team's not close to a playoff run. Nothing at all. He was the most valuable player on any team, and that's completely why I think he deserved this. And his numbers even backed it up even more.
Yeah, and it's really not even close. Like he batted 309. He had an OPS over 1,000. His on-base percentage was incredible. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jason. Thank you, Jason. He pulled away in the second half of the season, and
Yeah.
no player in the second half is better than Bryce Harper. Like
Nope.
nobody in MLB. He pulled away at 35 homers, and it's a thing where like at the All-Star break in the season, you're like, I hope he gets a 30, and he just pulls away. He becomes the best player in baseball in the second half. And if it wasn't for Harper, this team misses the playoffs by 10 games, and we're looking at this team like, how are we going to rebuild? And
Exactly.
now it's just like add some pieces. You hired a new assistant to the GM, which everyone's very excited about because we got a guy from a team that is the smartest in baseball, you could say. So
definitely.
everything about that MVP was nothing but deserving. Like
Yeah.
it was gonna happen. When we signed Bryce Harper, it was like we're getting a guy that is going to be a future MVP again. Because he didn't peak at 24. Like that didn't happen. You get better with age. The age 27 season is remarkably known as the peak season. This is the prime for any baseball player, and Bryce Harper is just proving that.
Yeah.
Nobody else deserved MVP. If the Nationals were a playoff team or even borderline, if they were where the Phillies were, maybe Soto wins MVP. But they were terrible. And
I'm with you.
There it is. Like Bryce Harper had nothing but deserving first place and 17 out of the 30 first place votes. Like he ran away with it.
Destroyed it.
He ran away with it. That's not even close.
Oh, by the way, did you see all the votes where it showed the list of everyone that did who voted for who 1 through 10? Did you see San Francisco?
So biased.
They had Brandon Crawford as number 1.
And both San Francisco writers did. It's biased. You should lose your credibility after that.
You should.
How do you put Brandon Crawford as a first place vote?
And he was very valuable. The point that we've been saying is that Bryce Harper was very valuable, but he also had insane numbers to back that up as well. Brandon Crawford was extremely valuable. He helped that team a lot. If he wasn't on that team, that team probably still would have played really well, though. Brandon Crawford did not put up them insane numbers. He wasn't hitting 35 homers, 100 RBIs, batting 310. He wasn't doing all of that. He wasn't hitting an OPS over 1,000. Again, he had a great year, and I don't want to take it away from him, but them votes putting him first. And I think, didn't Bryce actually have a number 5 vote in there somewhere?
He did. He had a number 5 vote. Yep.
That's nuts. That's insane.
It's his bias at that point.
And haters, man.
Trey Turner gets a first place vote, which is definitely less crazy than Brandon Crawford getting 2.
Yeah.
But still, like, Harper could have had over 20 first place votes.
Yeah, he probably should have. He really probably should have.
Shohei winning unanimous makes complete sense. I didn't expect Bryce to be unanimous, but
no, me neither.
Come on, I don't think either San Diego voters voted for Harper either.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
I remember seeing it. Yeah, Toddy's had both.
Come on. Yeah,
it's gonna be that bias thing, and all the Phillies guys also did vote Harper too. Now, he's probably more deserving and everything like
he's
that.
Deserving. They got to watch that every 162 games. They got to watch pure dominance from Bryce Harper.
Exactly. So just an amazing moment. And I know we just spent 10 minutes talking about Bryce Harper. And honestly, I could probably go even more. I mean, the guy is so deserving of it. I mean, he is the embodiment of Philly. You really look at it. He is, when you look at all the Philly stars, you have, at the Eagles, I guess you can say Jalen Hurts now, but again, it used to be like Carson Wentz was that guy. It used to be Ben Simmons and Joel. Now it's Joel Embiid. So you have Jalen Hurts, Joel Embiid. If you want to go into hockey, like Claude Giroux and stuff like that. But then you have Bryce Harper, biggest name there, and now he's won the MVP. The last Philly athlete to win an MVP was Jimmy Rollins, I believe,
in 2007.
2007, he was the last Philly athlete to win an MVP. So this guy, Bryce Harper, he's a bottom in Philly. He loves Philly as much as Philly loves him. He's so into it. Something else that I actually have to bring up to you. So something that I remember us having a conversation before, I don't know how many shows ago, it's been too long, but we said we were a little bit nervous about Bryce Harper possibly wanting to leave because if this team keeps on losing. I remember we had that conversation. We were just unsure. And we were like, if they keep on losing and this happens for another year or two, I'm worried. Well, at his interview after he won the MVP, he said he didn't regret his decision at all. He loves Philly like it's his second home and everything like that. He had some amazing quotes. I now have zero, I'm not worried at all that he wants to leave. Like, he wants to be here for the long run, and that means so much to me, and it means so much to other fans.
Yeah, all I want to see is Bryce Harper enter the Hall of Fame in a Phillies P. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
that's it. 2-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6-time All-Star, 2 Silver Sluggers. He's there, dude.
Yep.
He's there. He's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't see he's not going anywhere. Like this,
Yeah.
Dombrowski's done everything that you expected him to. When we hired Dombrowski, I was skeptical. I didn't like the move. You were on the other side, and
I loved it.
everything looks good. Like he's building, and
Yeah.
the way that he's building right now, this season could be the year that things really move on. Because, dude, you saw the Braves. You saw the Braves win a World Series after getting guys at the deadline for free. Jorge
Yeah.
Soler they got for nothing.
Nothing. Jock Peter,
World,
nothing.
World Series MVP. It's not hard. I really think that this team can just. This is the offseason that everything matters because you see Harper's peak, you see what he can do, and he can be the best player in baseball.
Yeah, and when you can build something around him, this team right now, screw it. We'll get into the offseason stuff right now because I just want to get really into it. We can talk about Wheeler a little bit after, but this offseason, when you look at this team right now, this is a very bad team. We've said it multiple times already this show. If Bryce Harper is not on this team, we don't even look at this team as contenders for a playoff spot at all. So that's a little bit worrisome. Dave Dombrowski came into that. He joined very late into the offseason last year, so he couldn't have really rebuilt anything. So now this is his first full offseason to come in and show what he can do. And that's exactly what he's already starting. That's already what he's starting to do. He's making these minor trades. He's already saying what he's going to do. He's saying, I know Jason's been in the comments saying it too. They want to go for a left fielder, center fielder, and just more pitching. So I'm very excited for it. They need to target all these other spots, and we get to see Dombrowski do it. He's rebuilt multiple teams. He's rebuilt the Tigers. He's rebuilt the Red Sox. He's done this before. And when you have a star like Bryce Harper, that's the reason why he came here. He knew he could build over someone. When he was in Detroit, he had Miggy. When he went to Boston, he had someone like Mookie. Mm-hmm. He now has a guy like Harper. That's what you want to come into. He knows that it could be something that he can rebuild, and that's what he's going to do. We're going to see so much more signings happen, so much more trades. Dombrowski is very active. It's going to be a fun offseason coming.
And right away, like you said, what Dombrowski in his interview, what he said, he wanted a big bat in left field.
Yep.
Who's the first free agent that comes to your head? Nick Castellanos?
Yep.
Could you I understand he's going to get paid. Dylan says Schwarber, which
Schwarber is another big one.
Is that he would hit tanks in Citizens Bank Park. That would be insane. If you get Schwarber, I'm all for it. But if you can get a guy like Nick Castellanos on this team, I know he's gonna cost a little bit, but dude, that big bat in left field, he said he wanted a big bat in left field, and you're gonna have to give a second round pick. That's fine. I mean, for Nick Castellanos, a guy that's probably gonna make you a big push into playoff contention. If you get a guy like Castellanos or even Schwarber, it's all hell breaks loose. That would be insane. That would be absolutely ridiculous.
And something else you can think of. I know when Dylan said Schwarber, our hitting coach is Kevin Long now.
Yep. Where was he?
Washington.
Where was
Harper was there. Schwarber was there last year.
Wow.
Schwarber really liked Kevin Long. So
when he batted leadoff and hit bombs every other at bat.
So this is going to be a good trend. Guys are going to want to play with Harper. They're going to want to play with the MVP. They all know Dombrowski. They know these players, and these guys are going to help reunite it. I'm very excited to see it. Castellanos, I know he's a bad defender. I hope, and I really hope that we're going to get that DH spot because Castellanos is bad in left field, but the thing is his bat makes up for it. I'd be totally okay with it if we get Castellanos. Again, Schwarber's not a great defender either, but their bats just make up for it.
And we need
that big bat. Exactly. Exactly.
That
and we don't know how healthy that Rhys Hoskins is going to be next year. He's had a lot of injuries now. So we need that pop. I would love another left-hand bat that can hit for more power. The only one we really have is Bryce Harper. So I would love someone like Schwarber.
Yeah, Schwarber, Castellanos, and then you got a guy he's old. 33, but Starling Marte.
I love it.
The thing about it is I know a lot of people are skeptical because he's probably going to get a 3-year, maybe if he's lucky, 4-year deal, but he's 33. If you can somehow get him for 2 years, maybe if he agrees to a player option, like you probably have to overpay to get him.
Yeah.
But dude, he doesn't look like he's like aging. Like
No.
he had like his stolen bases are up. He's very fast. He's good defensively. He's just an all around like very good player. And he doesn't look like he's 33. He plays like he's a lot younger.
The type of deal that I would expect Starling Marte to look for, that's someone that I wanted to trade for in the middle of the season before the trade deadline. Something similar that you can think of, the Andrew McCutchen deal. We signed. He was 33 years old. Signed him to a three-year deal. I think it was close. It was like, what was it, 15 million a year, I believe it was. And but the thing is that McCutchen was more of a power bat. He wasn't always the contact guy and always a great defender and everything like that. They're different players, but the contract wise, I think it's going to stay around there, and I'd be okay with that. Starling Marte is a guy that's going to hit 300, steal a lot of bases for you, be a premier center fielder out there, and have a really good defender out there. He's just like you said, he's a very good all around player. So I would love Starling Marte out there in center field.
Yeah, Jason said rather sign Castellanos and trade for Buxton. I would love Byron Buxton on this team. It's just, can he stay on the field? And it's like, that's something I definitely would take a chance on. I think Buxton, when he's healthy, is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
And his power is insane, but it's just, what do they want to do, really?
So the thing with Byron Buxton, and I am a very big fan of Byron Buxton. He shows a lot. He is the definition of a 5-tool player. He can hit for contact, power, has an arm, is fast, and he's a good fielder. He does all of them at an elite level. Every single one of those categories has an elite level. But the thing is that kind of started this year. I don't know if this is going to be a little 1-year spurt. Still only played 61 games last year. And I know his numbers look great. No, and they look great. Look, okay, ready? You want to hear this? Since 2015, you want to hear his numbers of how many games he's played. In 2021, Buxton played 61 games. In 2020, he played 39, but that was with a 60-game season. In 2019, he played 87 games. 2018, he played 28 games. 2017, he had 140. 2016, he had 92, and 2015 was 46.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's had one season where he had over 100 games played.
Yeah,
that's
it's a risk-reward factor, and it's like, which, depending on how much you want to weigh it, like what means more to them. But staying on the field, like I agree with Jason, because we even talked about him halfway through last year. You know, like, Buxton is a freaking awesome player.
He is. I love it.
And like he said, the upside is huge
because
he's a guy that is going to give you everything. So it's just, can he stay on the field? And depending on the trade offer, do you want to trade for him?
Exactly. But I don't know how much. I'm thinking we have to give up a good bit.
I think, like, I would rather sign Marte. I think it's a risk. Like, I know he's 33, but it's a risk I'm worth taking, because he's the type of guy that, like, he doesn't look like he's 33 the way he plays. He hasn't aged in a terrible way. He's still fast as hell. He steals bases and he can hit. So I'll take that. And we talked about him during the trade deadline. Like, who do you want to
all the time?
He was one of the guys.
He was. And again, when I was saying that he hasn't played a lot of games, I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a fantastic player. I just think that we'd have to give up a lot for Buxton after his breakout year last year, where he just started going off. He one of the best starts to a season we've really seen. We would have to give up a lot. Buxton, just like how we said the 27 years old is like that year. Buxton's 27 years old. He's young. He has 10 plus years to play, and he does everything well. The only thing that would bring down his trade value a little bit is because it's his last year on the contract. This is now going to be his last year. Thing is that we're not going to be the only team interested in Byron Buxton. The thing is that other teams have way more to give up than us. We do not have a lot in our farm system. And even if you want to say, hey, don't give him up a lot, well, our not a lot is very bad. It's very bad. Us giving up a lot is like another team giving up a little. That's our farm system.
If I'm trading for somebody, especially in the outfield, because you need a left fielder and you need a center fielder, I'd rather trade for somebody that is not a risk to not be on the field for at least half of your games. Like, that's just my opinion, and I love Byron Buxton, and we did talk about him, but it's just tough. Like, it's tough to trade for a guy that you historically have seen he can't stay healthy.
Exactly.
Even though he gives you all that.
Look, and the thing is that he also has been inconsistent over his career too. Last year was the first. Look, the same way the Phillies hype up Vince Velasquez. Oh, it was Vince Velasquez's year. Oh, breakout Velo. Oh, Nick Pivetta, breakout Pivetta. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
love doing that. Okay, well, Minnesota's version of that was Byron Buxton for years. For years. This guy hasn't he this was one of his least games played out of his career, and it was the most home runs he's had in his entire season. When he played 140 games, he had 16 homers, 51 RBI, still only batted 250. He hasn't batted above 262 in his career.
Is this like a Dominic Brown thing? Like the one year All-Star?
That's what I'm worried about. And now he's coming off of a huge injury where he barely played. Now, again, he can come out and be an absolute star. And I'm sure that is what he is going to do, because this is what we thought he would be as a prospect. But I'm not willing to make that risk. We're not the Dodgers, who we can be like, oh, this didn't work out. Okay, we'll go trade for someone else then. We can make one big deal. I don't know if I'm willing to use that on Buxton. And I could be wrong on that. I totally could. And I'll tell you next year, my bad. That's my bad. But I don't think this is a situation where I'm going to be wrong. I love Buxton, but I just don't think it'd be a great fit over here in Philly. We need someone that's going to come out, play games, and just get in there and just do your job. And I'm not sure Buxton's going to be that guy.
No, I agree. And I guess so. I'm going to jump into a big one because, this is a big free agent, but Trevor Story.
Love it.
You got like Didi's not doing it. I think Stott could start next season. Like off the bat, opening day, I think it could be a shortstop that starts for us.
Dombrowski did say that Stott will have an opportunity to get on this main roster and start at shortstop.
Yes, and I think they really like him. And I don't know if you've seen on Twitter like some of the videos that have been coming out of his bombs, but
he looks like Harper.
His swing is freaking gorgeous. Like his swing is amazing. So I'm not like very big on like we need to sign a shortstop, but if you could get Trevor Story like in a range of like 5 years, 110, 130 range, I guess, like I'm all for that 100%. And then that gives you a year for Stott to like stay in the minors and develop, and you could figure out something for him, whether it's trade him or put him somewhere else. Because I think his bat is nice. I think his swing's amazing.
Yeah,
dude, if you could sign Trevor Story, because Correa just seems out of the picture. Correa's getting paid, like
he's getting paid,
which he deserves. He deserves. He's the best shortstop in baseball, arguably. I think he is, but
he probably is at this point.
You get Trevor Story. I don't like. You're gonna hear it from everybody, but like the road home splits because he's in Colorado. I don't care. I don't care about that. You saw DJ LeMahieu. You see him in New York. It doesn't matter. He's still a 300 hitter. Yeah. Give me Trevor Story. Give me Trevor Story. Trevor Story, Castellanos. That would be a perfect offseason right there.
I am willing to overpay for Trevor Story. He is an amazingly good player. Just like how I was willing to overpay for Zack Wheeler. That's what it took to get him. You're gonna have to overpay him a little bit. Well, I mean, now at the time, you had to admit that looked like an overpay. It really did.
It's a risk reward thing.
It was. And I'm willing to do that with Trevor. Yeah, and I'm willing to do that with Trevor Story too.
Yep.
Look, Bryson Stott can play second or third base. Stott can go to second. Gene can play third. There's no reason they can't. If the DH is coming, Bowman, Rhys Hoskins, figure out who the hell you want at first base and DH. I don't really care how you want to do it. But you can make room. You can always make room. I mean, Ronald Torrey isn't like a third base option for us. Alec Boehm should not be playing third base anymore. That stuff's got to stop. So if you get Trevor Story, Gene Segura has played third base so many times. He used to be a primary third baseman over in Arizona even. And then having Stott at second, give him a little bit of an easier job, let him focus on his bat more. It will work. So I'm willing to overpay for Trevor Story. Totally okay with it. He's an amazing bat, good defender, extremely fast. Again, just like I said, 5-tool player over for Byron Buxton. That's Trevor Story. And he has a little bit less of an injury problem. He still has a little one. He's been injured. Didn't he get injured last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got injured last year. But still.
The free agent class of shortstop is like insane. It's crazy this year. So you got guys that like if you could grab Trevor Story like for a 5-year deal, you pay him like 130, 120, 115 range. Dude, I will take that any day of the week. Please, like
steal. I would even say
Trevor Story in Philly would be great. That would be an awesome addition.
So Trevor Story in his 2021 year, he was 28 years old, 142 games played. So he did play more than I thought. Yeah, he really hasn't had that much of an injury problem. And it wasn't his best year. 24 homers, 75 RBIs, 20 stolen bases still. Batting 251 with an OPS of 801. That's kind of like the
Yeah,
average
he
range.
didn't have an insane year last year,
No,
but
he
like
didn't.
it's kind of like I don't know if you can really compare it, but it's kind of like when Harper went in his last year in Washington and batted like 240 before the All-Star break,
Yeah.
and like he ended the year batting like 255, and everyone was like, "This guy, you can't pay this guy." It's the same thing with Story. Like he had a down year this year, but
Yeah.
you're also on a team that is terrible.
One of the
Colorado is
worst.
a terrible team. Yeah, it is a different situation.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. And the thing is, when you look at Trevor Story's numbers before that, even, I mean, he played 59 out of 60 games in that short season. Another great year over there. And before that, 35 homers, 37 homers, 108 RBIs, 85 RBIs, batting in the 290s, over 900 OPS, in MVP voting top 10. Like
Yep.
these guys, that Trevor Story is an absolute baller. Again, I'm willing to overpay for him.
Mhm.
And just these big signings. This is what Dombrowski's gonna be good at. These guys know Dombrowski. They know what he's capable of, and everyone wants to play with Harper. So
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it entirely.
That MVP, like I get a lot of people. Well, I know we're going back to it, but a lot of people are saying like, "Phil, you didn't make the playoffs. Who cares? Like, you got an MVP. Congrats!" Like, yeah, I get that's like the haters, but the MVP it does mean a lot more. Like,
Yeah,
it means a lot more for free agents too.
it does. People
Selling
want to
a
go play
team,
with the MVPs.
you're saying you look at Bryce Harper. Like he came into Philly and he's now freaking entering his prime. It seems like he batted 309 last year. This guy is an absolute all-star. He's been a stud since day one in Philly. Why would you not want to play with him? Like JT came here and now he re-signed. He wants to play with him. Chris Bryant, like there's guys
He's
out there.
another one.
Yeah,
There
like,
is some other ones out there.
Bryce Harper does have connections.
Right.
He's a big player in the game. He's been a big player in the game since the age of freaking 20. Like it's just how it is. So the free agents are going to be attracted to play with Bryce Harper, to play with JT, to play with the Cy Young runner-up, Zack Wheeler. Like, it's not like this team is absolute dog shit.
No,
And
it's not.
This team has pieces that you can easily build off of. You still have Boom. You still have Gene, who is a very good average hitter. You still have Rhys Hoskins, who hits for power. You still have guys. So it's going to be a fun off season. If I did ask you, what's the first move you're making in the bullpen? What are you doing?
First move in the bullpen. Now,
it's an listen. Don't overthink it. It's an easy answer. He's already here. It's just bring him back. Hector Neris.
Yeah. I would love Neris coming back.
Just re-sign Neris.
Yes,
it's the easiest decision ever. Just bring Neris back. And
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
As long as we don't try and fit him back into that closer role.
No,
it's not Neris.
No.
Keep him in his setup role, and I'd be very happy with that. And something else along with that. Josh Hader's in the trade block. Okay.
All right. I kind of knew you were gonna bring that up.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say when you said the first thing.
It's like right here. That's right by it. It's
look, I am not very much a fan of signing relievers. It doesn't work a lot. These guys are old. There's a reason why they're not on a team anymore. So free agent relievers scare me. I'm not even gonna lie. I like trading for them though, because we know they're good at that time. Now, I don't know how much you'd be willing to give up for Josh Hader, but he's on the trade block, and that is something that I would think about right away. He locked down, does everything right. A nice lefty, a lefty we haven't had in. I can't even think of the last good lefty we've had in the bullpen. I really can't. I can't think of a good lefty. The fact that Adam Morgan just came to my mind is beyond me. That's beyond me.
I was advocating for an Adam Morgan All-Star season like 3 years ago.
Oh, I was with you. I was. I hate it.
Dude, like I would love to trade for Josh Hader, and that is something that is like right by everyone's ear because it's very possible. Josh Hader is on the trade block, and he is a guy that he's a lockdown closer. He's a guy that every team would want. It's just, what are you going to trade for him, and is it worth it? And would you rather go out there and sign like a Knubel or a freaking Brad Hand, which you could sign guys like that, but Brad Hand kind of sucks. Knuble would be a freaking amazing guy to grab. Like getting him in free agency would be crazy. It would be kind of a move like getting when we got David Robinson when everyone was like, this is a no-brainer move, which turned bad.
Yeah, but if he didn't have injuries, it would have been good.
Yeah, which he was not injured his whole career until he came here.
I know, it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
But there's guys out there that you can grab that could easily bulk the bullpen. And I feel like we've said this before, but I don't think it's hard to build a bullpen really. You could get guys that are so solid, and it's just like you just got to be willing to pay the money. So
no, yeah, definitely.
Knuble would be a guy that if you're willing to pay the money, just get him because easy for us. And even like there's so many relievers you can get, like Alex Colomb. He was a closer in his career too. So get guys that have been experienced in the closer role, veterans that could come in and give you innings. It shouldn't be hard. Hopefully, Sir Anthony's coming back, which would be huge. That'd be if he can pitch as good as he did when he was healthy, which I'm not gonna expect, but if he can, that's just
huge.
Guy.
Sir Anthony coming back, he's not going to go into a closer role, at least not right away.
No,
I don't think. But something that Dombrowski has preached already this offseason, he wants to get a lockdown closer. He wants a guy. He wants Girardi to have his guy over there in the closer role, and the other guys just have good fill-ins. Neris, bringing him back would be huge. Ian Kennedy, even bringing back, I'd be okay with Ian Kennedy not being a closer back on this team. I really would, and just get some other guys that you already named, like Corey Knebel. Boom, I like that, and even some younger guys. Like I would rather have these younger guys take a shot on them than get these 38-year-old relievers that just can't do much. I got the guys you said, like Alex Colomé. I like that. I think he'd be a great signing over there. But I don't want to pay 5 35-year-olds $10 million each to be in our bullpen
because it's not going to work, and one or two of those guys are probably not going to play the whole season.
Exactly. So
that's just how it goes.
Exactly. So I'd rather take a chance with these young guys. Make some trades. You can make trades for younger relievers for a lot less than you think. You really can. I don't have any guys off the top of my head, but go take some shots. That's something that we haven't seen. When we get our relievers and everything like that in the offseason and in the past couple of years, we stick with that bullpen. We don't change it at all. Before we traded for Ian Kennedy, what the hell have we done in the middle of the season or done anything? We haven't changed anything. We've gotten guys like Pat Neshek, Tommy Hunter. Like, we got to cut it with that. Trade for these younger guys, take shots on them. I don't care if their ERA was a 7 in 3 innings pitched last year. Take a damn shot on them. Stop going with these older guys that get injured and can't play for half the damn year, and you know that they're not going to play well.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like there's a lot of pitchers out there this year that you could easily get too. Like, it's going to be a big market, and it's not even free agency either. You could trade for guys like very easily.
Craig Kimbrell's on the block.
Yeah, exactly. And like Kimbrell is a big name to get, but it's the same thing as Hader. Like if you want to trade for a guy, you can trade for a guy. If you're going to trade for Kimbrell, they're probably would rather trade for Hader just because the age. Yeah. But even like, do you have any starters that you want? Because the veteran starter free agent market is crazy. Like there's so many guys out there that could get cheap deals, and even if you go out there and sign a guy like Clayton Kershaw. Like if you like Clayton Kershaw, you have Wheeler, Nola, Gibson, Kershaw, Suarez, and then like Eflin's gonna be back, and you can start Bailey Falter or Kraus whenever you want, really, and plugging in whenever. Like that means then you have a deep rotation that if like your bottom 5 would be like if you're filtering guys in, it's like Falter, Kraus, Eflin, like bottom 5 there. Your Ranger, which I assume Ranger will be starting next year. He's got to start next year. It's just like how things went. Nothing but gems from that dude. Yes. So the starting rotation can easily be fixed. It really can. If you sign one of those veteran guys too, it's just like it bolsters it. We'll see, but the starting free agent market's like it's very interesting. Like especially looking at the list.
There's one guy that I'm very interested in, but there's no shot in hell he's coming to Philly, especially after an argument he had with Joe Girardi last year. I would love Max Scherzer having a 1-year deal over in Philly. I know there's no shot. I know there isn't. But oh my gosh, how lovely would that be?
Wheeler, Scherzer, Nola.
That is nuts.
Stupid. That'd be stupid.
So that would be my guy. I'd want to go out there. Again, there's no chance. Even before that Joe Girardi thing happened, I just don't think he'd ever come to Philly. I'm sure he's going to be back back in Dodger blue this year. But yeah, there is them veteran starting pitchers out there. And I was about to say Justin Verlander would be great, but he already did sign back to Houston. Yeah, he signed back to Houston, so I'm very upset about that. But I think Verlander would have been a great fit. But yeah, we got to make some sort of move to fill out the end of the rotation more. There's just moves to be made all across the board. And I really, for the first time in, I can't even tell you how long, I have faith in a Sixers. Wow. I have faith in a Philadelphia GM, in a GM at all. Or, it's the equivalent of present operations.
That's the thing. Like, it feels during the McPhail-Clentak era, it just felt like, it was a lot of just kind of, to put it lightly, just a lot of bullshit coming out of the house, and just, we're going to spend a lot of money and we're not going to really build correctly. It was just a lot of bullshit. Now you hire an assistant to the GM that was literally on the Rays. He's 27 years old. He's a young guy. He's a guy that was involved in all these trades that you see the Rays getting, that it's like, oh, they stole that guy and they built that guy up to be a freaking amazing bullpen pitcher, an amazing starter, a guy that does this, like that. He was involved in all of that. So you're getting a guy like that to pair with Dombrowski, and Dombrowski, we all like, at least not, well, you liked it, but a lot of the people that didn't like it, including me, were on the side of like, he's old. This is a thing, like a stopgap, and like he's going to be here for 3 years and he's going to retire, or like we're going to see a lot of non-analytical stuff. We're going to see a lot of old, to put it like dinosaur type moves, but he's done everything to a T. Like, he's done everything right, and he's put faith in people because he's doing moves that it's like, okay, this team, the window is not getting smaller. It's not a rebuild. Like, they're opening up. The window's opening. And whether they make the playoffs this year or they don't, it doesn't matter, because the window's just going to get bigger and bigger. But this is the year that they could make the playoffs. And this offseason is going to be huge for them, because you have a lot of free agents out there, including starters, bullpen, outfielders. Like, you even have the Japanese dude, the Suzuki left fielder.
He looks insane.
Dude, he could plug in left field. He could be the left fielder for the Phillies.
He'd be cheaper.
And, dude, like, what, 3 years, 30 mil?
Yeah,
like
no, that's right.
Isn't that that's what they're projecting around, right?
Yeah, 5, like 30. Yep.
So even a guy like him, like, he has the bat too, and there's so much that this front office
so much that we can do.
And Dombrowski is, I like, for the first time in a while, I feel incredible about everything. I just feel like last season was like, once we got Harper, it was kind of a slow build up. Like, when we got Harper, it was like, wow, like we're gonna be the sleeping giant that everyone thought we were gonna be if we got Harper. It's been underwhelming. I feel like we're finally at the point where we're here, and this is the off season where things are getting to a point that it builds, that just builds up.
Yeah,
and getting the Rays guys just. Yeah, it just feels different.
Which his name, I'm gonna try to. I don't want to, but I'm gonna butcher it.
Kalambi,
Ani Kalambi, Annie Kalambi. I think we're just gonna call him Kalambi from now on. But yeah, mentioned him a couple of times. And again, another amazing signing. 27 years old. What Dombrowski said he will be overseeing. He's the assistant GM. He will oversee the club's research and development department, in addition to the club's use of data in all aspects of organizational decision making. So a huge role for Kalambi. We've already seen what the Rays have done. They've done everything extremely well. Legit everything. The Rays have done everything right. And now we have Dombrowski, who I love, and Kalambi. He's gonna add on to it, bring another aspect to it, he's an analytical guy, and Dombrowski, who's an older guy. You're mixing them together. hopefully that will work out. I'm sure the signing wouldn't have happened if they wasn't already a good fit. And another signing is a special assistant to the GM. I'm sure you saw this as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Howie Kendrick.
World Series champion.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that's
Howie
crazy.
Kendrick,
I
part
saw that.
of
I
this
saw that
front
come up.
office.
I saw it come up in my Twitter feed, and I was like,
I was
"Huh,
shocked. I was
interesting."
shocked. And, he played 40 games for us. He's had longer careers on multiple other teams
Yep.
than just for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. A guy that just got out of the league this year.
Yep.
He played a couple months ago. And had another and he still played well. But that's going to be another thing to look at. Howie's there. Now the greatest Howie in front office in Philadelphia sports. The greatest Howie. Yes,
Damn.
I forget
The
whose joke I
disres-
used,
the
but I stole that from
disrespect.
someone.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I stole that from someone in DSM. It was probably Phil. I don't remember. But yeah, all these guys over here post that kind of stuff. But yeah, the greatest Howie in Philly.
That's a good one. That is a good
Yeah.
one. When I saw that hire, I was like, wow, am I reading this wrong?
I wish, because I saw Howie Kendrick and I was like I thought, because I saw it on Instagram first and I was like, is this like a meme? Like I for real thought it was like a meme. It wasn't at all.
Is this like a meme?
Yeah, that was my initial thought on the Howie Kendrick thing. So any other guys that you really want to go after in this offseason, or any other moves you think we need to make before we go into this Zack Wheeler conversation?
Not really anything that I didn't really touch on. I guess like Kevin Kiermaier would be cool, but that's
Right.
asking a lot. So yeah.
Hey, Colombi.
Yeah,
got connections.
dude.
We have connections.
Yeah, exactly. So
And that's very important in a lot of things.
we'll see. I guess this offseason is gonna be fun to play out. And
Yes.
it's just starting.
It's just
We are
starting.
starting.
So everyone's got to keep
But
their eyes on that.
We could jump into if you think Zack Wheeler got snubbed.
Yeah. So actually, you were definitely more into this than I was. I can
Dude.
tell you were a lot more angry about it than me. So I want you to go on a spiel, and then I will have my part after you. What is your Zack Wheeler thoughts on everything that happened?
I think looking at the standings at first, like looking at the voting, was very tough to look at because him and Burns both got 12 first place votes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nail biter, and it came down to the nitty gritty, and he just lost. I love that wins don't matter anymore for Cy Young. I think that's awesome. I think wins are the most overrated stat for a pitcher. I don't like how we are not looking at Zack Wheeler pitching 46 more innings than Corbin Burns and having an ERA only 12% lower. Like Zack Wheeler ended with a 2.73 ERA in 213 and a third innings. Corbin Burns ended with 2.43 ERA in 167 innings. 27 more innings pitched for Wheeler, 12% worse ERA. I think a workhorse thing, I think being a workhorse and putting up that ERA and getting the strikeouts matters a lot. Like I just think Zack Wheeler being able to throw, if you look at it as innings pitched wise, it doesn't look crazy. You look at it from an outs wise, that's 140 more outs that he threw. It's 140. Like he was the Phillies workhorse the entire year. He threw the most innings pitched in his entire career, and he still put up that ERA. He still had the strikeouts, the K to walk ratio. He had everything to a T. Like he was the ace that everyone asked for. I think Corbin Burns is amazing, and I think Corbin Burns had an amazing year. I just think Zack Wheeler being able to throw 140 more outs than him and not have an ERA that was crazy amount more high means a lot. I just think it does. And I get the Brewers probably better than the Phillies this year, and that's fine. I just think Zack Wheeler was a better pitcher than Corbin Burns was this year. I think if you're picking both of those pitchers, just like you're looking at 2021 and you're a team and you know that this pitcher is going to put up this amount of stats and this pitcher is going to do this, you're picking Zack Wheeler over Corbin Burns. If you're looking at the numbers and the innings pitched and everything you got, the ERA, the FIP, whatever you want to look at, I just think Zack Wheeler was a better pitcher this year. And I feel like that's harsh because Corbin Burns is amazing. Zack Wheeler just being able to throw 140 more outs and having ERA literally 12% worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not that much of a difference that you could put Corbin Burns over Zack Wheeler, in my opinion.
Okay. I understand that. And
Yeah.
do I think that either one of them could have won this award?
Easy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was a toss-up, but
That's kind of why it's a little bit difficult for me to say he was snubbed, or I can't really find a better word than really just getting snubbed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to say
deserving.
that. Yeah. When I look at it, Corbin Burns pitched how many less innings was it? It was 45 innings, right?
Mhm.
Give or take about
46 innings.
46 innings. He pitched 46 less innings and allowed how much did I see? 21 less runs in 46 innings. I don't think that Corbin Burns would have allowed as much as Zack Wheeler. And again, I know it's not the most important stat, earned runs. I don't think it would have been that bad. Possibly, yeah. There's always a chance. Zack Wheeler had a struggling end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that if Corbin Burns pitched as much as Zack Wheeler, he wouldn't have also done that? Can we really put that into the argument? That again, that's hard. That's not for us to really determine. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more. It's difficult. It's very difficult. And I want to say Zack Wheeler should have won this, and Zack Wheeler deserved it, and he did just as much as Corbin Burns. It's just hard for me to say snubbed. I really wish he would have won it. But again, I can't be too upset with it. I totally get your point. I'm probably on the same board. I'm on board with you. It just as deserving. It was just dependent on the votes. Crazy, they both had the same amount of first place votes too.
They both had 12. So that's why you look at it. You're like, this is so close. And you look at Harper, and he had 17, and it's like,
yeah.
And I think maybe a little bit is, dude, I couldn't imagine like Wheeler and Harper MVP Cy Young. That would have been incredible. That would have been awesome.
See, no, I think that would have been awesome. But imagine the media if they said, "Wow, the Phillies team had the MVP and the Cy Young, and
first time in history that they
went one game over 500."
Yeah,
that would have tore Philly up. They would have been tearing them up just for saying that.
I just think that now though it's like people that are fans. It's like we have something to build off of.
Exactly.
Like we're here. Like this is we have two guys that are easy cornerstone guys. You have Harper for literally 10 more years, and you have Wheeler for 4 more after this. So. Yep. And like Harper since joining the Phillies, dude, 281, 402, 556 /line. That he has a 12.8 WAR. That's 5.8 WAR over 162 games. He worth every single penny. And I think it's the biggest part is like him winning MVP is just you can't complain. Like nobody can say anything anymore. You can't say overrated, overpaid.
Nope.
It's not even close anymore. No argument.
Hey, think of that. The best National League player in the year, and no one can say, "Oh, no, he won the award." He is the best National League player in the league. Zero doubts anymore. No arguments about it. Bryce Harper is the best player in that league.
He's going into the Hall of Fame with a Phillies P on his cap.
That's gonna feel amazing. And I know that's still 10 years away, but damn, I'm gonna enjoy them 10 years.
In 10 years, when DSM's to the moon, we will go to Cooperstown. We're gonna watch him get inducted all together.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be an amazing moment, and I'm definitely very excited for it. That's all I had. I think we covered almost everything. Do you have anything else for us, George?
No, I just want to say thank you to Bryce Harper.
Thank you, Harper.
Everything you've done for us. Thank you for choosing us. It's only up from here. I know you're watching right now. I know you're watching right now.
Oh yeah, he listens to every show.
Yeah, you just put the kids to bed. It's 11:20, like it's Saturday.
Man, it's late. We were still having viewers again, and thank all of you guys, everyone that still came in and tuned in to watch this episode of Diamond Talk. I know it's been a good bit, but you guys have still been the support has been amazing from DSM and from us at Diamond Talk. Again, thank everyone for tuning in. It's been an amazing show again, George. We will get back into the groove of this. It is very hard to find scheduled times for me and George now. But we will figure something out.
We'll get some off-season stuff going. We're gonna keep it going. We'll get some guests on. So
yeah.
We're
getting some DSM guys on, and I know Dylan's probably right there. Dylan's getting on soon.
Dylan might be asleep right now.
Oh, damn.
I hear him giggle.
Yeah, but we have some good stuff cooking up. Anytime any news drops, you're gonna hear us first. We'll be right on it. So we're very excited. We're fine. We're getting back on track. Had to take a little bit of time off. Been doing shows a while, but we are back. We're loving it. We had a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for the support. George, anything to say before we get going?
Great show. We're gonna stay with you for the off season. Once the season starts too, right back up. And
exactly.
It's only up from here. We're gonna get a lot of off season movies, a lot of emergency pods. So stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in.
Stay tuned.
Go Phils. Go watch the second half of the Sixers.
Yep. Go Birds for tomorrow. Everything Philly all around. For George and I, MV3 baby.
Thanks, guys.